like and share. I'm simultaneously broadcasting on YouTube. That way, after I'm done, I don't have to upload the video. I was trying to do it on Instagram, but I couldn't find the app to upload it on my iPad, but that's a whole nother story. So please like, invite, and share, everyone. Please get on. Hey, Lynette, thank you for getting on. Please like, invite, and share. I appreciate you guys getting on tonight. We're going to be talking about medical marijuana, which is a hot topic. I actually had someone, hey Kenyatta, thank you for joining on. I actually had someone to call me and say, could you please talk about this? So we're going to talk about it in regards to the medical aspect of it, the recreational aspect of it, the legal aspect of it, all these supposedly medical marijuana dispensaries on every corner in the inner city of Detroit. We're going to be talking about all of that. So I need you guys to like, invite, and share before we get started and give you guys a few moments to get on. My name is Dr. Grace Patterson. They call me Dr. Grace. I'm the managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center and Everything New medical services. We're in the inner city, Metro Detroit area. My office is located in Southfield, Michigan at 21411 Civic Center Drive. Our telephone number is 248-356-1111. That's 248-356-1111. We provide home physician visiting services. We kind of like old school. We bring the doctor's office to you, to the sick, disabled, and shut in. We bring the doctor's office to you. I also, near and dear to my heart, is alternative medicine along with pain management services. So we do provide emeritus services. Yes, we do. I even provide concierge services where you can be a member for a low monthly fee, which allows you to have access to a plethora of information outside of Medical Monday and creating and designing a medical health plan. Not talking about insurance, but a medical health plan where we write a vision for your health. We talked about that, putting a plan into action on one of my videos and creating a plan for your health. Where do you see yourself 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now? How do you want your health to be 10 years from now? Do you have a plan for that? Or do you accept the norm of you get a certain age and that you're supposed to be sick, or you're supposed to have high blood pressure, or you're supposed to have arthritis and heart disease because you're maturing and getting younger and younger, as I call it? Do you accept that as your reality and don't do anything or go to the doctor or come up with a plan until something happens? At Bethesda Holistic Center, Everything New, where we try to get you to have a new mindset about your health, we actually come up with a tailor-made plan specifically designed for you to make sure you stay on course to meet your health goals. Just like most oftentimes you try to set goals for your career, your business, your family, and your vacation plans and all that other kind of stuff. You need to plan financial plans for retirement. You also need to have a plan for your health, and that's what we love to help everyone do. So please like, invite, and share on Medical Monday. We're going to be talking about that medical marijuana tonight. It's a 10 after. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Hey Tanisa, thank you. Please like, invite, and share. So again, we're going to be talking about medical marijuana from a perspective of the medical perspective, the recreational perspective, the law. We're going to be talking about even some how it affects your health in a good way and bad way, just like anything else. There are side effects. People want to say, oh, I'm getting into it already, but we're going to talk about that, and we're going to also talk about the spiritual aspect of it. So please like, invite, and share, and so we can go ahead and get through this ton of information on tonight. So let's talk a little bit about, let me see here, where did I put this? Let me open up my little, to keep me on track and keep me on what is medical marijuana? The term medical marijuana refers to the using the whole unprocessed marijuana plant, or the basic extract to treat symptoms of illness and other conditions. So, you know, back in the day, before it became legal, you know, we had boatloads of marijuana coming over. Well, yes, we did. Boatloads of marijuana coming from other places. Hey, Dion, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. We're going to be talking about medical marijuana tonight, where we have boatloads of marijuana coming in. And you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this. I might be dating myself. Back in the 80s, there was this huge drug bust of the shipment of marijuana coming in. Hey, LeBaron, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. There was this huge drug bust in the 80s in regards to marijuana coming into our states. And hey, Tina, please like, invite, and share. And shortly thereafter, that's when the crack epidemic happened. Where there was a shortage of weed. Yeah, that's how that was played out and how that happened. You know, we don't have this weed, but here, let's try this. So that's when the crack epidemic happened. One of the things that I want to talk about in regards for the medical aspect, you guys can look it up. You can see videos on YouTube's about when people have certain neurological, hey Paula Carr, thank you for joining on, neurological diseases, and they use marijuana in an oil because it comes in different forms. Most oftentimes, hey Maria, thank you for coming on. Most people think about marijuana, people smoking and getting high. So for years now, marijuana has been, I want to use my sister's word, demonized to the point of the fact of the matter that where there is actually scientific proof that it helps people with certain diseases that most people associate it with people sitting around getting high. And the reverse of that is people that sit around and get high, they legitimize their recreational use because it can be used medically. I don't think that's right. I'm just going to be straight from the cuff with you guys. If you want to use marijuana to get high, say that's the reason why you're using it, to get high. Don't be legitimizing your reason to get high because it is used for medical purposes to help people that have legitimate diseases. So, and the reverse of that, I don't think it's fair to demonize something that can actually help someone that actually have a disease which it can help. So we're going to be volleying back and forth from them two perspectives as we go through the night. And let's talk about the law. Hey, Brother Green, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. Let's talk about the law. Being that we live in Michigan, I'm from Michigan. Medical marijuana is legal at the state level. Why is that significant? Because at the federal government level, at the DEA level, it's still illegal. Did you guys know that? So let's talk about the law for a minute. So what makes medical marijuana legal is, number one, you have to have some type of ailment, including chronic pain, which is totally subjective. A lot of people that, and I'm just going to put it out there because I see it every day. Hey, Phyllis, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share, because pain is so subjective. People say, I have back pain, so I want to go get me a card. But really, they're using it to get high. That is not what you should be doing, because what winds up happening when you start abusing the system breaks down, and then the people that really need it for medical problems that the cannabis can work for, then it makes it hard for them to get the medication that they need. So again, let's put it out there. Would you take high blood pressure medication if you don't have high blood pressure? No. Would you take Prozac if you're not depressed? No. So why would you take medical marijuana if you don't have an ailment? I mean, you're just taking something, putting something in your body that your body doesn't need. You're just using it for recreational purposes, for the euphoria that you get by whatever means, that route that you just decide to use it. So again, I'm just going to be straight from the cuff and shooting from the hip about this whole situation. Okay. So let's talk about the state level, federal level. So for those of you that are under the sound of my voice that know someone that lives in federally funded housing, so that may be, I don't know, you may call it Section 8, There are some places where they do prorating based upon your income or your housing, and then it's federally subsidized. That's federal funding. Okay, that's at the federal level. Medical marijuana is not legal at the federal level. Hey, Lisa, so if you're living in a federal facility and you have a medical marijuana card, you could be breaking the law. So whatever facility that you live in, or if you live in Section 8 housing with your landlord or whatever the case may be, you really need to know the law when you decide that you're going to get a medical marijuana card. That's for people who lying to get it, to smoke it for recreational, and those who legitimately need it. You need to know the law. So the feds can come in at any time. If you're living in a federal funded housing or facility, hey, Marnisha, thank you for joining, and you have a medical marijuana card, which is legal at the state level, it is at the federal government's level discretion to determine whether or not you're breaking the law. So if you're on federal government property, you're living there and have a medical marijuana card and marijuana on the premises, ideally and technically you are breaking the law, because it's only legal at the state level, not at the federal level. Did you know that? So if you, like they said, that old song, now if you don't know, now you know. So you got to know the law. Let's talk about even people who want to have a CPL license. If you want a license to carry a firearm, it is illegal for you to have a medical marijuana and apply for a medical marijuana card. You can't have both. They will not allow you to, because it is against the law. You cannot be a plant grower or a caregiver and have a CPL license, which is most oftentimes, hey, Miguel, thank you. Hey, Lanita. Hey, Lisa, thank you for getting on. We're talking about the law in regards to medical marijuana. So if you're a caregiver or a grower, you need to protect yourself, because this is what they're not talking about. You can get robbed from people, by people, and you want something to protect yourself. So what do you need to do if you're a caregiver or a grower, but you can't get a CPL license to protect yourself because you have a medical marijuana license? You can't have both. So therefore, you need to hire security. That's how you have to do that. So you guys got to understand that even though it is legal at the state level, medical marijuana is considered a illicit drug still at the federal law level. And then let me explain that. So that means Washington, D.C. does not recognize that medical marijuana at the state level is legal. So you guys, under the sound of my voice, please like, invite, and share this video for those that live in Section 8 or any federal funded housing. I mean, you know, everybody have their own rules and regulations, because from what I can understand, some federal funding housing are telling their residents, as long as you have a card, you should be okay. But that's just that facility. That's still not the federal government. The DEA can show up at any time and come to any federal facility and say, we're going to do a search. I understand that there's medical marijuana that's on this premises, and do whatever they want, because they're the government. Who you going to complain to? Because it's the government. So you got to understand that, okay? So review in regards to, I'm going to post a link so you guys can go and look that up, okay, in regards to that. Let me see what else. Interactions with other medications. Okay, there are interactions, being that medical marijuana is now legal. I think it's been legal since, I want to say, I have it in my notes. But anyway, there really is no long-term studies because it was never a legal substance. But there are some studies out there where it has been kind of like legal in other areas for longer periods of time, where it talks about where it affects cognition, and especially in teenagers. Let's talk about that for a minute. About developing teenagers. It was a study that was done And I think it was in read this in a neurological journal, where they did a study on 18 to 22-year-olds who were smoking marijuana. And there's this thing, that a side effect where they call inhibition, which happens when people, hey April, thank you for joining on, that affects a person's personality or persona. Hey Carrie, thank you for joining on. So it's this thing that's called inhibition that no one wants to talk about with recreational use of marijuana. The inhibition means that they lose the drive for life. Lose a drive to accomplish goals and things of that nature. Now, it's also personality dependent. I do believe in that, but most people don't talk about the chronicity of using marijuana over a long period of time, how it affects a person's ability to hold a job, to get a job, to hold a job, and to have motivation, ambition to go beyond whatever their dreams and aspirations are, because it works at the neurological level. No one wants to talk about that, but it's a reality. Okay, I mean, years ago, when they used to say, I know you guys used to say no to drugs and all the commercials, and they used to have the commercials with, this is your brain on drug, this is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs, and they open up this egg and start frying it, and then they show this young man that's living in his mother's basement, and he's down there getting high, and you find out like he's like in his 30s or 40s living in his mother's basement, never accomplishing anything, because one of the side effects of marijuana is what they call inhibition. So I would love for people to understand that there is side effects to anything that we use, even natural. Now, you guys know that I love natural medicine, and I tell you, just because it's natural, it does have side effects, just like the pharmaceuticals. Just because if you don't take it the right way, natural products in the right combination, it can have some adverse effects that you would not want to have. So you could be putting something in your body that your body doesn't need, and it's not helpful for you, be it natural or pharmaceutical. So that is why I do Medical Monday, to educate you all on that. Okay, so let's talk about the interaction with medication. There is a long list. I had read an article from Medscape, and they have lists. I mean, the list is very long, of people that are on pharmaceuticals prescribed from their doctors, from certain type of high blood pressure medications, for certain type of anxiety medications, even cholesterol medication was listed there. So a lot of people think, oh, medical marijuana is all natural, and so I can just do whatever I want without it interacting with my medication. That is not true. So you need to have a conversation with your doctor, and if your doctor is not well versed on that, you need to get in touch with me. I even have a pharmaceutical friend, a pharmacist, I should say, that I can refer you to as well, to take a review of your medications, the current medications that you're taking, and to make a determination if you should be indulging in incorporating in your regimen cannabis or medical marijuana. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to be educated on that. This is not a green card or a gold card for all you recreational medical marijuana users out there, just to say, hey, I can smoke as much as I want because I have this card. That is not the reality of it. And then on the flip side of that, like I said, we're going to be volleying back and forth. It is not right for us to say, for those who that legitimately need it, for those that like failure to thrive, they recommend medical marijuana for that, because one of the side effects, you guys probably know about this, is called munchies. That means after a person partake in medical marijuana, which is not only, a lot of people just think medical marijuana is just puffing, smoking. No, it comes in other forms. It comes in oils and liquids that you can drop up under your tongue. It comes in edibles. The problem that I have with edibles is this: some come in candy. When I think of candy, I think of children. So I have a problem with a drug, and most even pharmaceuticals or vitamins or anything like that. I really have a problem with it coming in a form of candy or desirable or something sweet for children, because children, they like candy. So, hey, Jonah, thank you for joining. So, if you have medical marijuana, of course, hey, Mimi, thank you for joining. Just any type of medication needs to be locked away, put in a safe area where a child can't get to anyway. But I don't think cannabis or anything or pharmaceuticals or anything should be in forms of candy. That's just my standpoint on it. This is from Dr. Grace, my point of view and my opinion on it. I don't like anything pharmaceutical, be it natural or be it pharmaceutical in forms of candy, sweet tasting or tasting real good, where a child wants it because it tastes good and not because it's good for them. I don't like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So we're talking about failure to thrive. Now, there is medical marijuana. It can be prescribed to whomever. But even there is indications for children too, for like failure to thrive. What is failure to thrive? That is when a child is not developing or don't have appetite. Failure to thrive can be in someone that has a terminal illness like cancer or something like that, and they don't have an appetite. They may prescribe medical marijuana, cannabis in certain forms to increase their appetite so they can eat, so they can have energy and strength to fight the disease that they're battling with. Neurological disorders. I've watched a myriad of videos with people that have Parkinson's diseases or MS, where they have the tremors and all of that, and they put a couple of drops of cannabis under their tongues and the tremors stop. Okay, so again, if it works for a person, I think it should be utilized. But again, let's go volley back and forth. I don't think a person that is using it recreationally should legitimize their recreational use because it works medicinally or medically. And again, because it works medically, I don't think it should be demonized because people have abused it or using it for their personal use for recreation. Okay, Denise, thank you for joining. Hey, Jay, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. Also, cannabis has been known to work miracles in our veterans that have PTSD, which is post-traumatic syndrome or disease. Okay, so again, most of the time people think of medical marijuana like a smoking session. Everybody is smoking and in the smoke-filled rooms and taking a puff and passing the joint or passing the blunt, whatever you want to call it. That is not always necessarily the case. It can be in oil form. No one knows what it's like to have someone come home from war and wake up violently from out of a sleep, and their partner is there with them and they don't recognize them and they got them in a chokehold or whatever the case may be. And if the cannabis calms those nightmares down and all of that, again, it's for a medical use. I don't think it should be demonized because of the recreational use and abuse of the past that people have used medical marijuana. Okay, glaucoma, and you hear this, jokes about this all the time, especially on Medea. So they're getting high and all that other kind of stuff, and they're talking about this for my glaucoma, and it has been proven that cannabis does help with glaucoma, but you don't have to smoke it. How about that? So those are the top ones that I like to talk about in regards to its use. Okay, adverse reactions. Let's talk about that. In regards to medical marijuana or marijuana in general. Now, before it became unprocessed, you guys know years ago and still happening today that they used to cut it with other things. They used to cut it with cocaine. They used to put PCP in it. They used to put drugs that they use, veterinarians use to put in it. So all that other kind of stuff, you know, that is not medical marijuana. That, I mean, hey, Nicola, thank you for joining. Medical marijuana should be in its purest form, unprocessed, and no chemicals added outside than its natural growth. Hey, Janice, thank you for joining. Please like, invite, and share. But you got to understand that marijuana overactivates parts of the brain that contain the highest number of these receptors. These causes the high that the people feel. And other side effects include altered senses, for example, seeing brighter colors, altered sense of time, which means that their time reaction is slower in reacting to a situation. So that's why it's not good to use medical marijuana and operate heavy machinery, including driving, because it increases hey Marvin, thank you for joining, which increases the risk of person having an accident. Okay, changes in mood, impaired body movement, and difficulty with thinking and problem solving. Now, medical marijuana in general has been proven to cause problems with short-term memory. It has been appropriately documented in regards to that. So those of you that have gotten medical, and I've seen it, so I can speak from this. This is something I ain't heard. This ain't something I read. This is something that I've seen, and this is something that I've dealt with as a doctor. For some of them that have got medical marijuana just to smoke, and those of you that smoke it in your homes around your children, you are causing cognition problems in young developing brains. I think it's very unfair, even cigarette smoke. So I think it's very unfair for you because you think it's natural, and because now you have a card that is okay to smoke it around young small children. No, that is not right. And no, again, there has been scientific studies that prove that it has an adverse effect on children developing brains. So it should not be happening. You know, it's a high epidemic in certain areas where children are now going to school smelling like the weed house. I mean, that is not right on so many levels. Number one, again, you're exposing a small child's developing brain to something that they should not be exposed to. You do get a contact high, and you guys know that smoke. So if you're smoking around your children are getting contact high, and THC is showing up in their system and in their urine. So that is not cool, is not right, and I don't condone that type of behavior or that kind of type of thing. So please be mindful of that. Not only that, even impaired cognition for those of you that smoke it around grandma. It has been scientifically proven that it alters short-term memory. So if grandma is around it, yes, I've had patients that are elderly show up THC positive that don't smoke, are not prescribed it because they're around family members that think it's okay because it's natural and they have a medical marijuana card, so it's okay to smoke it around grandma. No, because now you further, hey Dolores, thank you for joining on. Hey Mazine, thank you. Now you're affecting grandma's short-term memory even more. So you guys need to understand that just because it's natural, that doesn't mean it doesn't have any effects. Oh, Grace, you don't hold nothing back. No, I don't. Because no, I don't. This is real. This is real. So impaired memory, hallucination when taken in high doses, delusions, psychosis. Yes, you can become psychotic when a person uses medical marijuana. Everyone is affected differently. Yes, paranoia, psychosis. It doesn't have to be cut with anything. It can affect a person in that way. Contraindications and causes. Contraindications mean that you should not take it at all. It should be not used at all. Even though they say marijuana is remarkably safe to use, to date, there are no known fatalities. A lethal dose would be 20,000 to 40,000 times higher than that of a normal dose. Consumption cannot induce a fatal overdose. However, as with any medication, it may not be harmless in some who have had increased risks, such with pregnant and nursing mothers, adolescents, I already talked about that, and persons with family history of mental illness. Okay, so we're not talking about post-traumatic syndrome. We're talking about mental illness. What does that mean? That means someone that is schizophrenic or has some type of schizoid personality, bipolar disease, those type of things. Hey, Minister Joseph, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. Those are the things that we need to talk about in regards to that. In particular, before deciding to use cannabis, if it's safe, you should consult with your physician and review potential risk if you have the following condition: pulmonary disease such as COPD, hepatitis C, heart disease, and hypertension. So let's talk about COPD, which is chronic obstruction pulmonary disease. I'm getting ready to talk about a case story. I know I said I was going to do this at the end, but I'm going to talk about it right now. I have a patient right now to this day. She has been smoking marijuana for years before it became legal, and she got her legal medical marijuana card. So we were, she has end-stage renal disease, and now she's on oxygen. She's a young lady. I think she's young. She's younger than me. So I'm 51, by the way. So she's younger than me. So she and I were just sitting and talking, and then she was like, Dr. Grace, she was like, I want to be honest with you. She said, I can't stop smoking. And I was like, well, why can't you stop? She said, because I'm going to be honest with you, because I've grown to be dependent on it. I was like, I let her talk. So she said, if I don't have it, I get mean and grumpy. I almost go into a rage until I get it. She said, when I get the smell of it, then I'm happy, then I'm calm. And she said, and I know the reason, she said, because she don't smoke cigarettes. She said, I know for a fact from my years of smoking, now that's why I'm on oxygen. Because you got to remember, when you smoke a blunt or smoke a joint, there's no filter. But everybody wants to talk about how safe it is and how it doesn't have any effects. And now those are the ones who want to use it recreationally and want to legitimize their use of it. Now, don't get me wrong. If that's what you want to do, that's you. But you got to understand that there are some consequences to your behavior when you smoke like that. It is what it is. So now she's younger than me, not only have to be on dialysis 3 days a week. Now she got to carry an oxygen tank, and by her own admission, she says she knows this from the chronic use of smoking marijuana before she got her legal marijuana card. So years of it, decades of it. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, so now the proper use. There's a couple of things that you guys need to know in regards to about how to get a card. So all these dispensaries are all over the place. Some of them are legit. Some of them are just weed houses in a commercial building. Let's just be honest about it. That's all they are. And so if you're going in there and just buying weed and you don't have a medical marijuana card, you're breaking the law on the state level and the federal law level, federal government level, because you need to have a card. So how do you get a card? I'm going to tell you how you get a card. You get a card by going to the Michigan.gov website. There is a physician certificate that's there that you can pull down, and all doctors don't do this. Your doctor, you have to see a doctor. You have to be examined by the doctor. I mean, not just go in and the doctor sign off on it. That the doctor actually does a physical exam on you by touching you with their hands to determine the reason why that you're getting medical marijuana. Not just for pain. It could be, like we said before, for a myriad of things, or PTSD, or it could be for neuro whatever. But you have to get a doctor's certificate. You have to send it to the state of Michigan along with a fee. I think it's like $60 fee, and there's a $25 if you have a caregiver, because there's some people that assign a caregiver because they can't do it themselves, so that person can go and operate as them to go get the medical marijuana, because there's some people that are bedridden that may have and they're in chronic pain, and they decide to use medical marijuana instead of opiates. Now let me stop here right now before I go any further. I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the precious Holy Ghost, believe in God. I believe in the healing virtues of Christ, because I've seen people be healed by the laying of hands and stuff stuff like that. I do believe that. But I do believe in also in natural treatments and healing processes as well. So on that note, and this is just Dr. Grace, because Dr. Grace has been doing this for 20 years, and I have seen the effects of opiates in the community and across the United States. Okay, so I would prefer if someone used medical marijuana than an opiate. I'm just going to be honest with you. I prefer if they didn't use it at all. I would pray that they would get their healing and their deliverance and don't have to use either one of them. But if I had to choose between the lesser of two evils, I would prefer for someone to use medical marijuana than an opiate. Because as I said earlier, there has no documented fatalities or overdosing on marijuana. But there has been millions of overdoses on opiates. So again, being who I am and knowing what I stand for, like I said, I would pray that people get their healing and deliverance and don't need either one of them. Because I've seen the healing virtues of Christ take place not only in my church home, but also when I go into people's homes and in our practice. I've seen people get healed and delivered. And the people that are coming to me now understand and know that if they come to me on opiates, that is not a chronic thing that you're going to do under Dr. Grace's watch. You have to agree to be weaned off of it, period. I've had patients that have experienced prayer and being under the anointing at Great Faith Ministries that were smoking marijuana when they came and no longer is smoking it now. So we're just going to believe God for everything else that they're believing God for in regards to their health. Okay. So I just want to be clear on that. Okay. This proper way of getting a card. So if a dispensary is telling you, they give you their card from a dispensary and you come, no, that's not how that works. You have to apply to the state of Michigan or whatever state that you're in where it's legal to apply for a card. You cannot just go to any green building in the inner city of Detroit and they give you their own card and you come in and buy at any time. You are breaking the law at the state level and at the federal government level. So please be advised that the DEA, they are these people that come in with these black jackets on with DEA on the back. They can rush and bum rush up and come in there and close it down and take you to jail. And what they do is they watch the facility for a very long time. It's not like a fly-by-night 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They'll watch it for months, maybe even a year or two, and they will decide, and then they will get all the information of the people who visit that facility. Then now they have your name, your address, your location, and you're part of the legalities of whatever is going to go down by partaking in a facility that is not legitimate. So I just want you guys to be aware of that, okay? I just talked about the spiritual healing available to everyone by God using his Holy Spirit. And I just talked about the case study. Benefits, relieves stress and anxiety and PTSD. I talked about that. Medical marijuana has an anti-inflammatory component. It helps relaxes the muscles. It helps a person to sleep again. It's a non-psychotropic, which means that there is a trace amount of THC, so don't overdo it. THC is, that is what causes the euphoria. It will provide support to people that have fibromyalgia or chronic pain, cancer, ALS, which is also a neurological disease, which is demyelinated. ALS, let me explain that right quick. I know a lot of people say, sometimes, you know what, some people say that goes over my head, but let me see if I could explain it like this. You know how you have an extension cord, and the extension cord has a coating on it, be it plastic or be it cloth or whatever. It has a coating on it, but underneath it is wires. So think about your wires in a extension cord is your nervous system and how you plug it in and you get energy. So our body is nothing but energy anyway. And then that your brain is the powerhouse, the energy of the electrical cord. So all the nerve endings and all of that, they have what they call a myelin sheath, or that plastic that's over a cord. So in ALS, that or multiple sclerosis or MS, that sheath on that cord starts to unravel or deteriorate. So you need that insulation for your brain to send messages throughout your body to move, like my hands is moving and stuff. My brain is telling my hands to move. But in a person that has MS, it gets scrambled because they don't have that myelin sheath or ALS. So they have this tremors and shake, even though they're trying to get it there. It's not directed like it should be. So one of the things that the marijuana does, it helps with the tremors and all that kind of stuff. It helps with seizure disorders. I just talked about MS. In some cases, Crohn's disease. So again, I just wanted you guys to know, I'm almost at the end here. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Oh, we got 15 more minutes. Okay, so please like, invite, and share. I want you guys to, I got some messages from Messenger. I don't know how I'm going to be able to look at those. Hey, Doris, thank you for getting on. Thank you for joining on. So what I want you guys to do is to like, invite, and share. I want this video to go viral so you guys can understand what's going on. Okay, for you conspiracy theorists out there, this is what I want to know. And I haven't watched any other videos, but hey, I just want to know, why is it okay to have a medical marijuana facility on top of each other in the inner city? It's like everywhere you look is a dispensary everywhere. And then if you come out to the suburbs or in certain suburbs, you may see a dispensary. What you mostly see in the suburbs is the equipment to grow the stuff. That's what you really see. You never see a dispensary, you know, in the suburbs. There's no dispensary where I live, and I live in the suburbs. But all the dispensaries are in the inner city. So my question would be for you conspiracy theorists out there, and those of you who are legitimizing your recreational use to get the euphoria and to get high, you know, now it's legal, you know, that's why they're everywhere. But then my question would be, as a conspiracy theorist, why so many? And why in the hood, like the liquor stores? That you know, we talked about the inhibition. You know, are you getting the quality of marijuana that you really supposed to be getting? You know, all those questions will be in my head as a conspiracy theorist. You know, why is it hitting the black community so hard, where most of in the inner city, let's just go there. Why the inner city, the African American community, who is benefiting from it financially? Because number one, if you want to have a dispensary, you can't have a felony. So who is benefiting financially from it? I mean, the community is not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that there isn't any black-owned dispensaries. I'm not saying that. But the majority of them are not. I feel comfortable in saying that. So, again, I want you guys to understand why I'm on here tonight. I'm on here tonight to educate you, to empower you so you can make good choices. Again, for those of you who decided to get a car because you like to get high, do not use the medical reasons to legitimize why you get high. You get high because you want to. Period. So don't be talking about, oh, it's all natural, it's all this and it's all that. Hey, Tasha, thank you for joining on. And then my thing is, why would you use something medically when you don't need it? I mean, like I said, again, you ain't going to take a high blood pressure pill and you don't have high blood pressure. You're not going to take any other medication when you don't have it just to have it. I mean, come on now. Let's be real about this. And again, I want you guys to understand the law, because the law has been used against the African American community for so long. Before, when people had small amounts of marijuana, now they're all in jail. Now it's legitimized or it's legalized, and now it's in the community, and the black people ain't making the money, but there's no restitution or reciprocity to get those that were in jail for having small amounts of marijuana out. Where's the money going? This is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, but there is no reciprocity or restitution or release of those who got caught with a little bit of weed. Come on, let's just be real about it. Okay, but you know, but I'm gonna go, but I'm not saying me. I'm just talking like somebody else. But I'm gonna get my card. Okay, really? Really? Where your money going? Really? Who is it helping? Really? You know, and then let me talk about this for a minute. I do auto cases too. So everybody that comes, and I do pain management in auto cases, and I tell people, if you're in an auto accident and you smoking, that's a legal case. I mean, even though what makes medical marijuana or marijuana legal is the card. Not because they just passed a law saying that it's legal. A lot of people think, oh, I can just go buy and smoke. No, you need a card. That's what makes it okay. So I've seen lawsuits scrutinized because people came up positive with THC in their urine and not a card. So you guys need to think about that. I mean, okay, again, I can't stress it enough. If you're going to get a card and that you legitimately have a medical reason for it, I am all for it. Again, if you're using a medical marijuana card because you just want to get high and you legitimizing your reason because it's medical and you don't have a medical problem, you can have problems later on down the line. It is what it is because you're putting something in your body that your body really doesn't need. You just using it to whatever. I mean, why would you do that to yourself? I haven't been able to figure that out. So again, if you have any questions, you could going to share. Well, thank you. If you have any questions late to the show, no worries. You can. Okay. All right. Please. I'm simultaneously doing this video on YouTube because before I was doing it on Facebook, downloading and uploading to YouTube, and I was like, well, why don't I just simultaneously do the taping on both? But I want you guys to know that, again, I do believe in natural healing. I do believe in the healing virtues of Christ. I do believe that God used natural things to heal people. I do believe in the legitimacy of medical marijuana in those situations where people really need it. I don't believe in the chronicity of it, which means that once you're on it, you're always on it. I've known some people that use cannabis or use cannabis, and what is the other one without the THC? I'm drawing a blank right here. Cannabis. Can somebody help me out? What is the other one that doesn't have the THC in it? It's called something. I'm drawing a blank right here. It's called I can't think of it right now, but I'll think of it in a minute. Where people use it for a while and they get off of it. They're not just on it forever. I mean, they're on it forever. That's not what it's used for. Then let's talk about the natural use of it a little bit too. I didn't talk hemp. Thank you, Lynette. Hemp. They remove the THC, which takes the euphoria out of it, but you get the medicinal or the medical benefits from it. And then you get what you need from it and you stop taking it and you're fine. I've seen people that had chronic pain with fibromyalgia, use hemp for a while, reset their body, and no longer suffer from the pain of the fibromyalgia. So who am I to say that God won't use natural things for those things, okay? But again, I do not condone, I do not promote that it be used for recreational use. I mean, that's just me. If that's what you're doing, I mean, again, it's not, believe it or not, it's not legalized for recreational use yet. So they're trying to get laws on the book that it is. But right now, until it is, please, it's been my experience, when people abuse the system, then it makes it hard for the people that really legitimately need it. So please do the right thing. I mean, please do the right thing. That's all I can say about that. Please do the right thing. So again, I'm Dr. Grace Patterson from the Metro Detroit area. I was talking about the medicinal reasons, Renee Wilkes. I know my cousin had pancreatic cancer and eventually got a card and toward the end of life, she chose to use it, and it did help her eat. Yes. So I personally saw that it did help, and I was glad to see. Of course, there's legitimate reasons for it. It really, 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 really is. So, but again, I want you guys to be very careful about the law about it, because it really affects the inner city the most when you don't understand the law. In regards to the government housing piece, I know a lot of people that I mentioned that to, they were like, what? I didn't know that. Yes. So you guys need to know the law in regards to that. And especially if you have a job where you have to drive, or if you have to randomly drop and all that other kind of stuff. You know, oh, I got my card. Okay, so why do you have a card? You know, because you got to understand that. Hi, Marcretia, thank you for joining on. Because why do you have a card? Because believe it or not, your job can send you to one of their own doctors to see if it's legitimately reason why you're on a card, have a card. And that doctor from your company or whomever you work for can not be in agreement to why you have it, you know, because pain is so subjective. So that's all I'm saying. So there can be cases and have been cases where a job can do that. Okay, because you work for them. So they are at liberty to do whatever they want. So again, I'm Dr. Grace Patterson. Our office phone number is 248-356-1111. That's 248-356-1111. Go to the free download, www.bw-center.com/MM for Medical Monday. There's a freebie, talk about cannabis and all that stuff we talked about in a brief synopsis. The product that I'm talking about is Isonox. It helps with anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Is in a natural form. So it's right there when you do the free download. Read about it. Read up on it. It's www.bw-center.com/MM Medical Monday. Please go there and check us out. Go to our website, which is www.bw-center.com. Check us out. I mean, if you know anyone that has a parent or a grandparent or your mother or your father that needs services in the home, like I said, we bring the doctor's office to you. If you're someone under the sound of my voice that's talking about, hey, I know I need to be in the best fit shape that I need to be to do what God has called me to do, you have your own doctor. You can keep your own doctor. I can be what we call your health coach on the side and join up with our concierge services, which is a low monthly fee, where you can get a wealth of information and products and goods and services to go along with your primary care doctor. We will be glad to help you with this. Thank you, Lanita. People got to understand and know what medical marijuana is and need to know the law. You got to know the law. I mean, it is what it is. You got to know the law. So hopefully tonight, the information that I gave you all will give you guys the information that you need to make in regards to health for a loved one. Just this past week, I had a 33-year-old young man who had been diagnosed with cancer. And he has his medical marijuana card because he was 33 years old. Yes, you heard me right. He was only 33 years old. We've been trying to figure out where did the cancer come from. He did have some type of exposures, some chemical exposures. Again, I do believe it has a lot to do with our food. We talked about that before, but he has his medical marijuana card because he doesn't really have an appetite. So he needs that to stimulate his appetite, and his pain was so bad, was off the charts. So he needed something to help with his pain along with the medication that he was on. 33 years old. Yes, you heard me. So prevention. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So you guys, please get in touch with me. Get your mind right. Hey, Cassandra, thank you for joining on. Get your mind right in regards to what you need to do in regards to your health, and make good, godly, conscious decisions in regards to your health, and educate yourself. The best patient is an educated patient. I say that all the time. So you know, people perish because of lack of knowledge. You need to know what is happening and why it's happening, and you need to know the long-term effects of it all. This was Informative Monday. Thanking you for this many needed. Oh yes, they do. Please like, invite, and share. Please do that. So this is Dr. Grace from the Metro Detroit area. managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center and everything new. Yes, I just want you guys to know I thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, or if you even have any ideas about a show and something that you would like for me to research, hey Darrell, we're about to get off. You just sign on. Please catch the replay. Please catch the replay. Please catch the replays. Like, invite, and share, and catch the replay. I'm also simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook and on YouTube. So please like, invite, and share. You want to catch a replay. Marilyn, thank you. Oh, hey, well, thank you from New York. New York is in the house. Hey. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all a quick story before I sign off. My sister used to live on 77 Eastern Parkway, right across from the Botanical Gardens. And my daughter and my nephew, they real close in age. And my nephew used to come here for the summers, and I would fly them back and do all her school shopping in New York. I used to love going to New York. Yes, yes, yes. So New York is in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mallory, thank you for joining on. But I'm about to sign off, so please catch the replay. We talked about a plethora of information about medical marijuana from the inside out, which means the law, the benefits of it, recreational use. We talked about all of that. So please, please like, invite, and share this information. Please. It is very, very beneficial that we do that. Marilyn, you're in Yonkers, New York. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys signing on. I'm about to sign off. So grace and peace. God bless. Bye for now. Remember that the best patient is an educated patient. I really don't want you as a patient. So how about, I do. I want to help you. But the best you can be is to be informed. So you need to know the information. I didn't realize it was after 7. Oh, Darrell, but next time, catch the replay. Thank you so much. So grace and peace. God bless. Bye for now. Please like, invite, and share. I will see you next week, Medical Monday. I'm supposed to have a guest. I need to confirm with her for next week. And then if you have an idea for a show, if there's anything else that you want to listen to, please. How about an episode on cancer prevention? That would be a good one, Lynette. Yes, we could definitely do that. Talk about that, and please, that's a good one, Lynette. Definitely so. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Grace and peace. God bless. Bye for now.
Hey everyone, it is now Medical Monday time, so we are going to have a great show today.